One of the most common things to type in a document is the current date. Not all dates are created equal, however, and there are pros and cons to the various data entry techniques that you can use to add those dates. In this video, I show you the ways that you can easily insert a date in your document. Many types of documents require adding the date. You may be working with a memo, a letter, a report, or some other document in which you must put the date. Word actually provides several different ways that you can insert today's date. Perhaps the most powerful way to insert the date is to use the Date and Time option from the Insert tab of the ribbon. I'm going to go ahead and press Enter here so we have a blank paragraph up here at the very beginning of this document. To insert the date, I'm going to go over to the Insert tab of the ribbon, and then over here in the text group, I'm going to click on the Insert Date and Time tool. When I do, Word shows me the Date and Time dialog box. Now all I have to do is go ahead and select a format for the date as I want it inserted within my document. So for instance, if I want this one right here, I just click on that option, and that's the format that the date will have when I go ahead and click on the OK button. Before I click on the OK button, however, I want to draw your attention to this checkbox right down here. Notice that it says Update Automatically. If you choose the Update Automatically checkbox, the date is inserted as a field, and it will always be updated to reflect the current date as you work on the document in the future. This can be very helpful if you really want the date to update automatically so that the date is always in sync with the day that you are working with the document. If you don't want the date to change every time that you're working with the document, make sure that you clear the Update Automatically checkbox. Now I can go ahead and click on OK, and you can see that the date was added within the document here. Word provides a keyboard shortcut that you can use to add a date to your document as well. All you need to do is press Alt, Shift, and D, and you can see that the date is inserted directly within the document. There are two drawbacks to inserting a date this way, however. First, the date is always updated automatically, meaning that it's the same as using the ribbon tool discussed earlier and checking the Update Automatically checkbox. That's because Word inserts this as a field. When I hover the mouse pointer over the top of this date, you can see that it shows as shaded, which tells us that this is a field. The second drawback is that the date is displayed as a short date as defined in the Windows operating system, meaning that you have no control over the format of the date being displayed. If you want control over the formatting, then you need to use the Date and Time tool described earlier. A third way that you can insert the date is to manually insert a date field in your document. You can do that by displaying the Insert tab of the ribbon. Over here in the text group, we're going to go ahead and click on this Explore Quick Parts tool, and you can see that there's an option here that says Field. So we're going to go ahead and select Field right there, and that displays the Field dialog box. Now all I have to do is in the Categories drop-down list, I'm going to choose Date and Time, and then I can choose the type of field that I want to insert. In this case, we're going to insert the date field. I can go ahead and choose a format. This is very similar to what we saw earlier when we inserted the date and time. And once I have that selected, I can go ahead and click on OK, and that field is added within the document. Again, you can see it's a field because if I hover the mouse pointer over it, it has that shading that shows that we're dealing with a field there. Now I should point out that all three of the techniques for inserting dates that have been discussed so far in this video result in the field being placed in your document. If at a later point you want to make the field static so that it doesn't change, you can do so by placing the insertion point within the field. It doesn't really matter where you place it in there. and then we're going to go ahead and press Control, Shift, and F9. And even though it shows as selected, it has now changed that to text. It's no longer a field. You can see that I'm hovering the mouse pointer over it. We don't see the shading that would indicate to us that this is a field. Once changed to regular text in this manner, the field is no longer updated in the future. Finally, you should know that you can add the date by using the AutoText capabilities of Word. This approach is used to add the fully spelled out date, so all you need to do is start to enter the date. For instance, I would start to type June, and once I have enough characters there, notice that it gives me the option at the top to go ahead and press enter, and it'll put in the full date. You need to understand that this only works if you start with spelling out the month. If you try any other format of the date, like typing 19 space June, then the AutoText is not invoked and you can't insert a date in this fashion. Note as well that the date that's inserted is text. It is not a field, so it won't be updated in the future uses of the document. I hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, please click the subscribe button and then click the bell icon. That way you'll be informed whenever I add a new video to the Word Tips channel. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me today.